And we're off. Hello everybody. Just checking the audio. Glad you liked it, Lee. Apologies, I was just setting up. I've got 4 tonight, so hopefully we'll get them all covered. If we somehow get them covered quickly, then the stream will end and we'll move on. We'll end the stream and we'll do obviously the next one. The next one after this will probably be Tuesday, because tomorrow we'll be having the night off, me and Sparkle. So I might do a little one in the day, but not on this subject and not on this channel. Okay, so hello everybody. We've got 6 people watching. We've got 6 likes. Thank you very much, all the 6s. Hi Nikki, how you doing? We've got Lee, we've got Sparkle. Hello my darling bestie, how you doing? We've got Susabelle. Hello my love, thanks for the coffee. It was you bought me the coffees. Thank you very much, that was so kind. Stephen is here. Right, okay, Tam's in. So we've got 4 tonight. 4. Now, since we last spoke a couple of days ago, was it 3 days ago, 2 days ago? There's been another 2. Now, they haven't died in the last 2 days. There's been another 2 found that died in suspicious circumstances. There are people going through all of the deaths and missing people related to the NASA, jet propulsion, physics, anti-gravity, exotic science, whatever you want to call it. That's what some call it. Community. So we're now at 14. Now, tonight, we're going to cover, we've done 5. We've done Amy Eskridge. We've covered, let me see if I can remember this, Michael Hicks, Frank Maillard. We've covered Anthony Chavez. And then we covered Monica Reza. See that from memory? That's from top of my head. I'm not reading anything. This is why I like to do it how I'm doing it, because I'll remember each one then. So tonight we're going to be covering 6, 7, 8, and 9. This just gets weirder and weirder. So we've got 11 people watching. Welcoming everybody. Hopefully notifications have gone out. Fingers crossed. I think they have, because I've just had one for my own channel. That's weird, but there you go. Okay, so the first one we're going to be covering, I'm just going to grab this up now. I've just sent it all to you as well. Hi Freeside, haven't I, Sparkle? So, oh, this is just getting weirder and weirder. Right, I've actually created now a new label just for the scientists. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Right, this should make things a little bit easier. So the first one tonight, which is number 6 on our list that we're going to be covering, was an admin assistant. Let's just get this up. Her name was Melissa Casillas. Your browser's update signal is being honoured and will override your choices. Huh? Okay, well, I don't know what that means. Okay, so this lady here, now she's missing. Now this one is another really bizarre case. Let me just see how that's it. I can see the lady better. So here's the lady here. Hopefully you can see. Oh, how's the audio? Before we continue, let me know, how is the audio? Every time I see you, Nikki, I keep thinking you're saying good night, because you called Night Nikki. Again, thank you so much to Sparkle Salt for being here and being amazeballs. So we've got 12 people watching. So hopefully some more people will come in. Has anyone seen Rose? I keep meaning to email Rose and check she's okay. I've not heard of her for ages. So we need to check she's okay. Audio's good, thank you very much. So this lady here, this was Melissa Cassie. We'll say was, she's just missing. Now, in June 2025, Melissa Casillas dropped her husband off at work. This is really weird, this one. Let me see if I can get this onto a bigger screen. There you go. Hopefully you can see that a bit better now. Yeah. Okay. So let me just pop me in the corner. I'll pop me down there. Okay. So you can see it a bit better now. So in June 2025, Melissa dropped her husband off at work in Los Alamos, New Mexico. Now, this is the same Los Alamos where Anthony Chavez disappeared from, vanished, walked out one day, never come back. So it's New Mexico again, and it seems to, not all of them, there were some dotted around, but there seems to be a big cluster around Alabama in Huntsville, which you'll see, where Amy was from, which is where the NASA headquarters is. And there seems to be a big cluster around the Nevada, California, the Los Angeles, that sort of region. And again, Area 51 is in that region. So she dropped her husband off at work and then did something nobody expected. Thank you for that, Sparkle, for being so helpful. I really appreciate you. So she turned around and drove home. By that afternoon, she had vanished, leaving her wallet. Does it sound familiar, guys? Leaving her wallet, her keys. Now, this gets really interesting. Both of her personal phones were wiped to factory settings. Let me just see if I can I don't know how to get rid of this thing here. I think it's something to do with my VPN. I don't know. I'm trying to make it bigger so you guys can read this as well. Now, she'd vanished. She dropped her husband off at work, and then she turned around and drove home and disappeared. Totally vanished into nowhere. So, leaving your wallet, your keys, and both personal phones, apparently she had two, wiped to factory settings. And a family already splitting in two over what to believe. Now, her husband, Mark, insists she walked away on her own. Interesting. Her parents and siblings are certain that something far worse happened to her. Surveillance video proves she was alive walking along Highway 518 that day. We're going to get a timeline of events now, but where she went next and why is a question that only deepens the further you pull at it. There's a podcast there. We're not going to listen to that because it's another YouTuber. We've got some photos of Melissa here. I'm just going to bring this down a bit. Hi, Carlos. How are we doing? We're going through these missing scientists. So there's some pictures of her. And again, she worked at the same place as Anthony Chavez. Now, she looks very happy. There's her husband there. There's her daughter. So she had children. This is all from her Instagram, apparently, that this podcast Crime Junkie has uploaded. With his daughter, that's her dad, her sister Trudy and Trudy's daughter, her parents there. There seems to be a lot of Hispanic as well. Has anyone noticed this? It's just a coincidence. There's a lot of Hispanic people going missing, or is it just because that's where they worked? Fish tank. You know, this is the same laboratory where Anthony Chavez worked as well, who vanished. That's the agent on her case there. There's her parents. So sad this is, with her sister, with her dad, with her daughter. There's family. This does not look like somebody who. Hello, Squirrel Sniper. I'm covering all of these missing or deceased rocket agents. Hi, Blackjack. How you doing? We're doing 4 tonight. So the first one tonight is Melissa Casillas. So we've got a timeline here. It's kind of mind-blowing. These are pictures from the police. So we've got, this is a work badge she left. It's in a fish tank. And then muddy boots. These are, again, muddy boots. These are crime pictures. Now, she was caught on surveillance, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. There's Anthony Chavez, who I was just talking to you about. He worked at the same laboratory as Melissa. There's Monica Reza, same area again. William McCasland, we will have a whole show on him. We're not at him yet. So we've got all these photos. So there's the map of where this all happened. This is all in the same area. All of this is in the similar area. And there's New Mexico. There's Roswell. So this is all near. And then we've got these are the clusters of the three that I've just told you about that have vanished. Reza, Chavez. So we're going to start off here. This is the timeline of events. I'm just reading the chat. I am listening, cooking cheese on toast. Penny, so I've uncovered some. I'm just quickly reading the chat a moment to make sure everybody's enjoying this. Squirrel says, Penny, I've just uncovered some huge. All the scientists, minus David Wilcock, is all connected to one single thing. Really, that is very interesting. Send me an email if you don't mind, Squirrel Sniper. Someone pop my email address in, please. My pennybunny.youtube, because I'll get distracted because focusing on these 4 clusters tonight. So Melissa drives Mark to work at Los Alamos Laboratory and drops him off. Now, I'm pretty sure that's where she worked as well. Now, Sierra, her daughter, I love scones, but not with currants in though, just butter and jam and cream. Sierra wakes up, that's her daughter, and finds Melissa back home. So they both worked at the same place. Melissa and her husband both worked at the same place where Anthony Chavez worked. And I'm pretty sure that Monica Reza worked there as well, but I can double check that. So she finds her mom back at home, dropping the husband off, dropping her dad off. Melissa says she forgot her work badge. So she says, I forgot my work badge. That's why I've come home. So this was all in the morning. 8:02, Melissa's older phone, she's got 2, is factory reset. So 11:15, Mark begins calling and texting Melissa and gets no response. So just before 1 p.m. on the 26th of June last year, surveillance captures Melissa arriving at the shopping plaza where Sierra works and brings her lunch. So she takes her daughter lunch. So she drops her husband at work, goes home herself, says that she's been to collect a badge. Apparently that's when her phone was factory reset. They must know that from obviously investigations. And then she's seen taking her daughter lunch. Melissa texts Sierra at just before 25 to 2 on that day, telling her to have Mark find another ride home. So she tells her daughter that to tell her dad, Melissa's husband, she can't pick him up. Are you monetized now? This one's been monetized for years on and off, but I don't really use it really. If they are doing it, then just, if you don't want to watch them, just fast forward them. So her newer phone is factory reset. So they must be able to tell this. Hello, Terry Knowles Band again. They must be able to tell this, obviously, forensically after. So she texts her daughter and says, tell your dad to get another ride home. She's not going to be picking him up. And then her newer phone is reset, factory reset. Around 2 p.m, Melissa's supervisor calls Mark to report she was a no-call, no-show at work. 218. Surveillance video shows Melissa walking alone along Highway 518 with a backpack. This is completely out of character. It doesn't it, Stephen? It is so bizarre. It is just so weird. And this is why I want to go through all of this forensically with a fine-tooth comb, because these are real people behind all of these names and stories. These are real humans with real families. Oh, and apparently, just to add sparkle salt, apparently Monica Reza had children. That's what I've heard. I don't know how true it is. I heard it on a podcast the other day. I need to do some more research, which is bizarre because when you checked, it said she had none. Why would you be walking along? Right, so at this point, she's not turned up to work. She's factory reset both of her phones, but they were left at home, which is weird. No, she left one at home. Sorry. And then she took a newer one and that became factory reset. Then she's seen with a backpack walking along a highway. Like, this is so bizarre. Then her daughter arrives home at 3:30 and finds that her mum's missing. Melissa's belongings, including phones, so there must be 2, and keys are left behind. So how did both phones get to the house when she took one with her? It makes no sense. There is something very bizarre going on. Mark calls the New Mexico State Police to report Melissa missing. This was only what? We had Monica Reza go missing. Was it the 22nd of June, was it? This was only what? 3 days later? 4 days later? And then we had Anthony Chavez as well go missing just before Monica. So this is the following day. Investigators review evidence from the home, including a possible blood stain and muddy boots, which implies to me she went home again, put the phones in hygiene and took her boots home. The family organised a search party, which is a bit weird. That's on the 28th of June. She'd been missing 2 days. It's got to be linked, hasn't it, Sparkle? She's been missing 2 days and then they organised a search party. Like, what's that about? None of it makes sense. And when you think about all of these are all in the space of only 4 years. All of these, and they all worked in a similar industry. If not similar, they all work for government military contractors or directly for the government. So investigators review the evidence from the home, including the boots. We've read that one. Family organises a search party. Do you know what? I'd like to think that if I vanished, my family would be out there pretty much straight away looking for me and not wait 2 days. Now, Mark tells Trudy, I think that's the sister, this is 3 days on, that he changed the locks on the house. This is really bizarre. He changed the locks on the house and installed cameras. Why would you do that? And this is the same Mark, who's a husband, who's saying that there's nothing to see here. And he worked at the same place. July the 1st, Mark searches along Highway 518. This is 5 days on. And reconsidering a witness sighting of Melissa. Now, this is what, 3 weeks on, 4 weeks on. Police interview Rick Valerio regarding a tip involving a possible body. It doesn't make any sense. Exactly. Why would you change the locks and add cameras if you thought there was nothing to see here? Georgie, you okay? It's all right. You're all right. You're okay. I just wondered what you had. You've got a chew. That's fine. So that's what we know. Now, let's get off that. There's no body. She's still missing. Still missing, no body, nothing. Now, to me, that makes 0 sense. Zilch, nada. I don't know what you guys think. Now, we have got another one. So she's gone. Hi, Bridget, love. How you doing, sweetheart? I have got other bits on her, but there's not much more I can really tell you. I'm just reading the chat now. Good to see you, Bridget, my darling. I hope you're well, sweetheart. So let me just quickly get an up-to-date if anything else has happened on her. Update. 4 days ago. And again, it's Los Alamos. Right, let's see what people are saying on Reddit. I like the Reddit. They always seem to be on the ball, don't they? Let's have a quick gander. on here, and then we'll move on to the next one. If anyone's got any ideas of where these people are going. Now, all of this would fit in with what Al said the other day about could it be a case of they're gathering the world scientists, because after we've covered the US ones, there's also Chinese scientists gone missing. Yeah, I'm not kidding you, or dead. But that will be following on straight from this. So they're talking about this 4 months ago. Woman forgets work ID, supposed to work from home. She's last seen a few hours later walking along a highway wearing the same clothes she was last seen in. So today I'd like to cover another disappearance. It appears that I've made a mistake. Oh, there's George. So she was 53 years old. She was married to Mark for 20 years. They had an adult daughter. They lived together at home. She was an avid hunter and archer, won several competitions. She was well known in the local hunting and archery scene. This isn't someone that would be easily kidnapped, basically. So she was an animal lover, soft spot for dogs, cats and horses, softly spoken girl. Now, I want to know why the family think there's something going on, but he doesn't. So she said she forgot her ID badge and she decided to work remotely from home. We know all of this. I just want to find out the latest. So Mark was dropped off by a co-worker at 5, and he did report his wife missing at that time. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So Sierra and Mark, the husband and daughter, believe that Melissa left home on her own volition, possibly due to stress, as she allegedly has a tendency to bottle things up. Again, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't just drop your everything and drop your husband at work and then drop your daughter's food round and just go walking down a highway. And why were the phones factory reset? I'm sorry, not falling for that. Okay. Now, the family was seen as unusual. They had a family trip to a lake planned over that weekend that the mother and daughter were especially excited about. Melissa was supposed to take her mother to the hospital for a knee replacement surgery on the 30th, just 8 days later. She planned to take a day off to be there at the hospital during the surgery. She discussed dividing up the post-surgery care with the responsibilities between her and her sister, but they've just said there was only one daughter, so that's weird. This doesn't make any sense. Now, Sierra alleged that Melissa's side of the family is keeping her and Mark from the search efforts, so her family seemed to be at odds. Hello, Wesley, how you doing? Good to see you, mate. Her family seemed to be at odds with them, which makes no sense. Now, look at this here. They believe she went on her own volition. They also believe that Melissa lied about forgetting the badge in the morning, which is kind of obvious. I believe that. As Mark said that he saw her swiping it when she drove him to work. This gets even weirder. So he's seen her swiping the badge because they both worked at the same place. Now, it says here that Mark and Sierra have been going through Melissa's documents after she went missing, and discovered that she was going through a huge amount of stress they didn't know about, and that there were a lot of crumbling down on her. They didn't specify what kind of trouble Melissa was in. Now, the family are apparently keeping them from their outside of her grandparents, Melissa's parents. That side of the family came into the picture only 2 years ago. But her parents and grandparents didn't. They were already there. Sierra feels that their behaviour is fueling rumours. So the parent and, husband, daughter, there's, hi, Nanny, there is nothing to see here. And why would you change the locks? If you're missing, if your mom is missing and your wife is missing, what's the very last thing you would do? Is change the locks, because she could come home when you're asleep in the middle of the night. You just wouldn't do that. Sierra feels that their behaviour is fueling the rumours. There is nothing revealed to the public that would suggest that's the case. The investigators believe that Melissa has disappeared out of her own volition, and they can't fully discount for foul play. Well, of course they can't. They would in the UK, though. They claim that nobody has been cleared and that they're investigating the case from every angle. Nobody, which means everybody, which includes the husband, surely. Now, Jasmine McKillen, Melissa's niece, said that the archery community has really stepped up when her aunt went missing. There is a 5,000 reward for information. That's not a lot, really. You think the husband would have more. She was 53, Hispanic, 5'4". They're all little as well, aren't they? She has brown hair, brown eyes, multiple tattoos, including a dragon on her right ankle. And it talks about if you have any information, then there's all these sources here. Now, she has a websleuths.com thread, which I think I might have a little nosy through at some point. So that's all the information that we have on her at the moment. So obviously, I'll be keep looking through this. We're going to move on to the next one. But I think that there is a lot more to do on this. Now, I didn't want to do a whole show on her, but I do think there's a lot more. Sparkle Soul, I think we should have a look at this separately. I don't know about you, but I think this might be something to go down. Yeah, police, definitely nothing to see here. The forensic, let me just get this back. Hold on. Why has it done that? All right, Momo. What's the matter, my Mo? Momo. Okay, so a husband and the lab would be returning home alone. This created... Yeah, I need to read all that separately because I get mixed up when I start reading stuff. But I don't know about what you guys think, but this is really bizarre, isn't it? Something is definitely going on. There's just too many of them now. There are just too many of them going missing. It just doesn't make any sense. Right, okay. I might need to go out and come back. I don't know why it's doing this again. Sorry. This StreamYard is really doing my head in at the moment. I don't know why it's doing it. Right, okay. Let's get back into the next one. So it sounds like psychosis or blackmail. I just don't know what's going on. I just don't get it. If this was just one case on its own, then I would understand. But it's not. It's constantly, they're all related. There's too much. You should have named your dog after a Muslim. Well, Gizmo wants to go out, so Al's going to take him out. I don't walk Gizmo, so I'm a Muslim terrorist. So that's Melissa. Now, there's another one, number 2 tonight, and another Hispanic. Don't know whether that's just a coincidence. There seems to be a lot in that region, and there seems to be a lot of Hispanic people. I don't know if it's just because they're all top scientists or whether it means anything. I just don't know. So we're going to find out now. Right, I'm just going to have to do a quick refresh. I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So the next one is a Stephen Garcia. Again, disappeared without a trace. So far we've got, who have we got disappearing? We've got, so Amy was killed, Michael Hicks and Frank Maillard, I can't say his name properly. They're both allegedly deceased, but with no cause of death or anything. We've just got obituaries. There's no cause of death given. No police report, no autopsy, no body, no grave, no nothing. Then we had Monica vanish whilst out on with a group of people. And then we had Anthony Garcia, who worked at the same place as Melissa, vanished without a trace. Now we've got another one. His name is Stephen Garcia. He was a government contractor and he had top security clearance, and he's disappeared. So these are all the ones that have vanished from who we think knew each other. Okay, we can't prove it. This is Stephen here. Again, we're going to get on to General McCasland at a future date. These are all the ones you can see. Some are deceased, some are missing. Now, authorities are investigating the disappearance of Stephen Garcia. Also, thank you, Sparkle, just to add as well that the FBI are also looking into the disappearance of Melissa as well. They are looking into all this. So if you look there, that area there, that Albert, I can't say it, that is where Anthony Chavez was as well. It's that area again. So the authorities are investigating the disappearance of Stephen Garcia. Now, he was a government contractor at the Kansas City National Security Campus, and he was last seen leaving his home on foot. He worked, the White House are looking into this one as well, remember, and the FBI. Now, Garcia worked as a property custodian for the Kansas City National Security Campus, a major site responsible for producing more than 80,000 of non-nuclear components used in the US nuclear weapons system. So they create 80% of the non-nuclear components that go into the nuclear weapons. Thank you, Sparkle Soul. So we've got, in the course of his duties, Garcia was granted top security clearance, giving him access to sensitive areas within one of the most critical facilities in America's nuclear defense infrastructure. Now, his last known movements were, according to, I can't even say that, Albuquerque police. Albuquerque. Garcia was last seen shortly after 9 a.m. leaving his residence on Catale Court. He was wearing a green camouflage shirt and shorts and was seen carrying a handgun. Authorities said Garcia may be a danger to himself, but an unnamed source rejected the allegations that he was suicidal or has been experiencing any mental health issues. His current whereabouts remain unknown. So this then goes into other missing people. So we come off that one for a moment. Now, this again, he just vanished. There's no explanation of where he is. No one knows where he could be. He has just vanished into thin air. Right. See, I can get this up. We've got another page on this. Just one sec. I don't know what people are thinking about this. I don't know why they haven't been investigated sooner. I think that is really bizarre that they've not investigated this sooner, because it's taken people like internet sleuths that are actually putting this all together and going to the FBI with this, and the FBI are now just suddenly going, yeah, actually there might be something to be seen here. But what's interesting is that Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, he's saying that he's almost finished his review. But according to many podcasters who have spoken to the family members, nobody from the FBI has actually contacted any of these family members. I've got a feeling that Trump, who said he's doing meetings and stuff, is going to have told everybody to investigate it. It's going to come back. There's nothing to be seen here. And Trump, this is way above his head. This is way above the FBI's head. Let's not forget that Amy reported all of this to the FBI and they were looking into it. And then 2 weeks later, they come out and said, actually, there's nothing we can do. So he was last seen on the 1st of August 2025. Again, it's New Mexico. Again, George is dancing. Da-dee. So he was a 48-year-old government contractor, as we know. Hang on a minute. It says he disappeared on the 28th of August. But then it says date of last contact was the 1st of August, which is a bit confusing. So he was last seen, he was a property custodian at this weapons facility. Vital statistics there. Can you hear George? Right. He was last seen on the 28th of August, but his last contact was 3 weeks before, nearly 4 weeks, 4 weeks before. Now, he walked out of his home and he had a gun. He left behind, does this sound familiar, guys? His phone, his wallet, his keys, and his car. This is yet another one where all of that has been left behind. Surveillance footage. George is being silly. He wants my attention. He's jumping all over me and chewing my foot. Now, surveillance footage captured his final movements just after 9 a.m. with authorities, again, he might be a danger to himself. Now, an anonymous source told the Daily Fail that Garcia was a government contractor working for the Kansas National Security Campus, a major facility that plays a key behind-the-scenes role in America's defense, which we know about that. Now, it says here, the source described Garcia's work as a very high-level, overseen position of all assets, tens, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars in equipment and assets, some of which are not classified. So this is like top security. Others would be classified. Days after Garcia vanished, KCNSC, I guess that's the local news station, reportedly launched, it's the police, an extensive the company, an extensive internal investigation examining his work computers, emails, and files for clues about his whereabouts. How bizarre. Anyone with information on Garcia's whereabouts is urged to contact the local police. Garcia's case has been linked to a broader pattern of disappearances and deaths involving individuals with access to sensitive government research and nuclear programs. No trace of Garcia has ever been found, and the case remains unsolved. This was the last update on the case just a week or two ago. Oh, that was number, I should be dropping these links in actually, my apologies. That was number, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was number 7 on the list. Number 7 of deceased or missing scientists, military, with people that work in the nuclear, NASA, science, rocket science, jet propulsion, anti-gravity community. And this is all in the space of, so far we've got 3 years. It's crazy, isn't it? Right, how long we've been going. It doesn't tell you anymore on YouTube. It doesn't tell you how long you've been streaming on your phone. Let's go on it. 37 minutes and we are halfway through today's show. Sparkle Soul, if you're still here, can you put up the live stream? It's kicking off outside that call. I can't because I'm covering a show. I can't really do that. I would if I was on my other channel. Which, I am going to cover that on my Penny for Your Thoughts channel, Stuart. But I've got to stick to this because people watch this on the replay and they want to see what's going on with these scientists. I have like a schedule and I have to do it as it's coming on. Yeah, in 3 years, Bridget. It's crazy, isn't it? So we're going to get on to the third in tonight's show. And we are going to get into number 8 on our list. Apparently all the comments have gone. What the hell is going on here? Sparkle Soul, are you still here? I hope you're okay. You might be doing all the animals now, actually. Oh, my chat's back. My chat's back. Yeah, that crew thing is really weird, though. Okay, so we are now going to get into the death, number 8 on my list, of an individual called Jason Thomas. Now, this is another alleged self-unaliving. Got to be careful how we word things on YouTube. This is really sad, And again, not all of these cases could be something. Some of them could just be suicide. I just said the word, or people just you know, walking out of their family life. Right, hopefully you can see that a bit better now. I've made it bigger. So Jason Thomas was assistant director of chemical biology at Novoritas Institute for Biomedical Research in Cambridge, Massachusetts. He disappeared from his Wakefield, Massachusetts home on the 12th of December 2025. This is a very, very recent one, folks. This is like a few months ago. All right, let me just grab this up because there's actually an obituary here as well and a fundraiser. I want to get some photos up of Jason, so he's not just a name. He was apparently a really, really kind person. I'm just going to swap this for 1 sec. I think Sparkle Soul's disappeared. I think she's gone to go and do the animals or something. This was Jason here. He absolutely loved animals. He was apparently a really, really kind man who absolutely he loved his dogs, he loved animals, and he just wanted to help people. All right, 1 sec. Okay, so I'm going to get back onto that in a moment. Now, this page was created when he was missing. So he wasn't dead at this point, but he was missing. So it says, Jason, if you're reading this, we know I'm going to get onto these details in a moment. Please know we love you so much and we want you home. Okay, so I'm going to come off that now and I'm going to go back onto the page that I was just reading. But he was a very apparently a really kind person who just vanished into thin air. Now it's really sad because he was an only child, and just before in the November, both parents passed away. Both of his parents passed away, which is why there's a chance this could be, you know, on its own merit. It could be that he you know, he did that to himself. I don't know. But this is a water one, this one. So he was a biomedical researcher in Cambridge, disappeared from his home. Now, he disappeared on the 12th of December 2025, but his body was recovered from Lake Quannapowitt on March the 17th. So that, what I've just showed you, was when he was missing after the ice thawed, part of a cluster of 5 American scientists who died or vanished between June and March. June last year and March this year. Now, he was a contractor. He worked for this Novartis. I've seen these. They do a lot of stuff. They do like animal drugs as well. But Novartis, who he worked for, holds active contracts with the US Department of Defense. He was the same age as me. Now, he was missing, and apparently his body was found in March 17th, and they're saying that the ice had melted. Now, cause of death is pending. Medical examiner has not released the cause or manner of death. No foul play suspected, according to the police department. Now, his role was a scientist of chemical biology and pharmaceutical research. Right, Sparkle, so honestly, I'm just checking you're okay. You can pop out, it's fine. You don't have to be here. I was just checking everything was all right, my love. No. You don't worry, it's fine. I was just checking you're okay. University of Illinois, where he's educated, an evidence rating is emerging. Now, the assessment here is an uncertain UAP. Is there a link between UAP? So this guy was a highly educated researcher. He had degrees in physics and biology. His remains were recovered from a lake, as we know. So chemical biology, drug discovery, this gets really interesting, and high thought out screening, not aerospace, propulsion or energy technology. The primary basis for inclusion in the UAP physics section is a clustering pattern. He vanished 3 days before MIT plasma physicist, we're going to get onto him next, was shot dead. So 3 days before. His body was found during the same period that Makasland and Monica Reza disappearances were gaining national attention. So he vanished, and then they suddenly found his body, conveniently found his body when everyone started talking about this. Now, is it because his body was, they knew he'd bumped him off? She's amazing. I couldn't do it without her. Is it because they needed to put his body somewhere because there's too many missing? Is the question. But if you have to go, sweetheart, honestly, I understand, honestly. Now, Novartis, who we work for, holds active contracts with the US Department of Defense, and Thomas's specific involvement in any defense-related work has not been publicly reported. His research on cancer treatments, this guy could have actually cured cancer. Targeted protein degradation and chemical biology could potentially have dual-use defence applications, though this remains speculative. Now, on the evening of the 12th of December, Jason Thomas left his home on Murray Street in Wakefield, Massachusetts, sometime around midnight. He and his wife, Kristen, had gone out socialising earlier that evening, one of the first times since his parents' deaths the month before. Oh, okay, Sparkle, as long as you're okay. I know you've got animals to feed. Sparkle feeds all the animals like me as well, so I know she might have to do that. His wife found his Apple Watch in the mailbox. What the hell? So anything that could be used to track him were left. Again, we've got the same thing. Why would you put your watch in the mailbox? His phone and wallet were yet again left on the bathroom counter. So he left his phone, his wallet, and his Apple Watch in the mailbox. He departed without a coat, gloves, or hat in December in Massachusetts, and it is really cold there. Now, surveillance footage, we've got surveillance footage again, captured Thomas walking near Murray Street and Chestnut Street near train tracks on North Avenue. A train conductor who passed through shortly after midnight did not see him board. The footage trail ends there. So they disappeared off the train tracks into thin air, vanished into thin air. No one seen him get on the train. So people that say, oh, he's jumped in front of the train, well, his body was found in water, which doesn't make any sense. Despite extensive searches by Wakefield Police, Massachusetts State Police, K9 units, drones and volunteers, no trace of Thomas was found for 3 months. A GoFundMe campaign, which I've just showed you, has raised, it was now 60-something. Now, so he disappeared into thin air, and they only found the body when they had to find the body because they were talking about the others that had gone missing. I'm drinking a bit of my cold tea. Now, on March 17th this year, Wakefield police detectives searching around Lake Quannapowitt, what a name, spotted a body in the previously frozen water. Yet he was last seen on a train track. Police used a drone to confirm the discovery. Why would the detective be hanging around the water 3 months on? It's a bit weird, isn't it? And fire crews recovered the body. Preliminary identification based on clothing suggested it was Thomas. The Wakefield police stated that no foul play is suspected, though the medical examiner has not determined the cause and manner of death as of late March. I'm going to have a look in a minute. So he was assistant director of chemical biology in the development and molecule pathways group at Novartis. They definitely make some of the dog medication. I've seen them. Chemical and biology, using chemically and biology to discover and create new medicines. Phenotypic screening, developing cellular models for drug discovery. He did target identification and elucidation, novel drug targets. I think he was involved in the old plague jab. He did rapidly evaluating potential drug compounds, and apparently he worked on the mRNA, just saying. Targeted protein, done that one. Potential cancer treatments, according to Daily Fail, including work on pre-mRNA inhibitors for acute myeloid leukemia. He was working on cancer treatments involving mRNA. For Ewing, I don't know what that is, sarcoma, breast cancer and ovarian cancers, chemogenics, engineered protein. He was working on basically making cures. Now, ex-post in March speculated that Thomas had figured out the cure for cancer while working at a major pharmaceutical company. His work targeted protein degradation using PROTACs and molecular glues to selectively eliminate disease-causing proteins. If you invent the cancer drug, then you are not going to survive, because they need money in making you, I use this term loosely, better. Can you imagine if that happened though? He got the cure for cancer, all the chemo, the radio, everything would be gone. And not so much in the UK, we have the NHS that is diabolical, but in the US, health is major money making with all the insurances that people have. You get brilliant healthcare, but it costs a lot of money. So some of Novartis's cancer research programs carry Department of Defense contracts, though Thomas's specific involvement in defense-related work has not been confirmed. This is really interesting, guys. I want to know how his parents died as well. Now, Novartis have defense connections as well, which I've just spoken about. Here we go. He experienced personal loss. Right. His mother died in hospice care from dementia, according to NBC Dateline reporting. Approximately 1 hour later, as Jason and his father were arranging funeral details, his father collapsed in Jason's arms and died of a massive heart attack. Both parents died roughly within 90 minutes of each other. What the hell? Come on. We know they can cause heart attacks. We know that the old clot shock can cause heart attacks. I'm sorry, but that doesn't make any sense. I think there is Terry Knowles Band again. He was an only child. Friends and family described him as deeply struggling with the double loss. He was married to Kirsten, had been together for 24 years and married for 10. Having met in college, he was described as a devoted fur dad to his 5 pups. He had no children. Now, the 5 scientist cluster. He was named one of the 5 scientists who died or vanished between June and March, which we know about. So now, with the next case we're going to be covering, and the last case tonight will be of MIT Plasma Science and at the Fusion Center. This guy here, this Nuno Loureiro. Right, George wants to go out now. So, suspicious indicators. He left home without a phone, wallet, Apple Watch found in mailbox. Surveillance footage ends abruptly. These are all the weird things that make no sense. Now, the body was found in the lake raises questions about whether the lake was adequately searched initially. Hi, Linda. How you doing? Thanks for being here, guys. We're just covering some more of these scientists. So he vanished through, you're going to see 10 miles away, the next one and the last one from tonight. Now, congressional demands for witness protection. So former Congressman Matt Gaetz has publicly demanded witness protection for key UFO scientists, citing the pattern of deaths and disappearance in this cluster. He stated, I would have witness protection for key witnesses right now. Congress has the ability to get that done in concert with the Department of Justice. There's too many of these, isn't there? There's too many. And there's one that died, was it last week as well? So Monica co-invented the super ally we was talking about. This guy, chemical biology, this one we're going to talk about in a moment, is absolutely insane. Nuno Loureiro. And then the next show, obviously, we'll be getting on to some more, but I think 4 in one show is enough for me. So we're going to get on to a little bit more details about Thomas now. But it is so sad. Hang on. Hang on. Yeah. I think we're going to have to go onto the last one. And I'm going to show you a video here. Right, so 10 miles away, the last one. Hold on a sec. I think I've got a video to show you. This is really, really bizarre. I think we've got 2 videos. One is with a full update, and one is going to be just a little bit of basics on it. I don't know why the picture's so bad. Right, so this is the 4th one of the night. This was a scientist who was shot dead in the foyer of his home. Again, it makes no sense, and it was only 10 miles away. So let's get this up now. And we're going to get another update on it after as well. So it's absolutely madness, this is.
The head of MIT's Plasma Science and Fusion Center was shot in his Brookline home last night. We are told the Portuguese professor died at the hospital this morning.
Thank you so much.
Jericho Tran is joining us in Brookline, where there was a vigil earlier tonight. Jericho.
Yeah, well, it is quiet and it is somber, but you can tell how much the community cared for Nuno Loureiro just by how many people have showed up here on his block. Gibbs Street police have shut down the block, and there is a crowd of people, family, friends, holding candles, even putting flowers on his doorstep. His colleagues.
So this was a few days after. I know, Bridget, it's insane. This was what was it? 3 days after they found the body of Jason. 10 miles down the road, this MIT scientist shot dead. We'll get into more of it in a minute, but this is the first report that came out, local report from NBC Boston.
Describe him as a world-renowned plasma physicist, and his family members say that he was well-loved in the community.
He was a wonderful human being.
Grief-stricken family members embraced inside of the home of Nuno Loureiro.
So tragic, so frightening, so insane.
Candles illuminated windows as neighbors lined Gibbs Street in front of the 47-year-old's home where he was shot and killed on Monday night.
Such a bizarre thing. It's hard to imagine it was random, to tell you the truth. It's a family that's feeling such raw horror, I'm sure terror. What do you do with something that's indescribable?
Loureiro served as the director of the Plasma and Science Fusion Center at MIT University and was a faculty member of the Nuclear Science and Engineering and Physics Department. He was raised in Portugal, joining MIT's faculty in 2016, and he was granted tenure just a year later in 2017.
I am absolutely shocked. I know Professor Loureiro Nuno very well. I talked to him yesterday during lunchtime.
We spoke with Dr. Boslaw Weislauch, who worked with Loureiro at MIT University.
He has been an absolutely wonderful scientist.
MIT releasing a statement saying, in the face of this shocking loss, our hearts go out to his wife and their family and to his many devoted students, friends, and colleagues.
You never think it's going to happen in my neighborhood with my friends.
The Brookline superintendent issued a statement to the school community in memory of the father of the three, saying in part, "I extend our deepest sympathies to his family for this profoundly horrific loss." Throughout the day, neighbors who heard the gunshots on Monday night prepared for the nighttime vigil in honor of the father.
We heard a really loud noise. I thought it sounded like a crashing noise. My husband heard it, and he said it sounded like gunshots. It seems like violence is just happening everywhere.
This shooting is being investigated as a homicide. We did ask the Norfolk County District Attorney if there was any danger to the public as this investigation unfolds. They did not answer our question. In Brookline, Jericho Tran, NBC 10 Boston.
Right, so hang on, let's not show the next video. Right then, so a well-known, I'm just going to get the information. Again, this is the first we have. I'm going to get an up-to-date as well in a moment. So a well-known MIT nuclear science professor was shot dead and killed. We know he was only 47. Now, do you guys remember, I don't know whether it's just me, but Loureiro was taken to the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center in Boston. Do you remember last year or the year before that got some sort of attack on it? Or is it just me? Do you remember? I remember that weird name of a hospital. George wants to go spinning, guys. He's asking me. All right, George, he has been spinning today, but he wants part 2. What time is it now? Oh, God. George, can you give me like 15 minutes, mate, please, just to finish the show? Georgie, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. We've got spinning soon, okay? Where's Daddy? Go and tell Daddy. Ask him to take you in the garden. Yeah? So, here he is here. He was shot at his house. Neighbours reported and annoyed me about this. Now, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology confirmed in a statement that Loureiro was a member of its faculty in the nuclear science and engineering and physics department. Again, 3 days after the Jason Thomas vanished. Not when they found him, when he vanished. And 10 miles down the road. So they talk about how wonderful he was. He was a brilliant scientist. He spoke with him. One of his colleagues who worked close with him spoke with him the same evening before he was shot. He was a world-class renowned scientist in plasma physics. Now, at this point here, I've got up to date, but police have not released any details about suspect. Now, this case, this particular one, the last one of the night, gets even weirder in a minute. It gets even weirder. So, oh my, I can't. And let me just see where can you get him ready, and I'll take him when I've done my stream. Just do it slowly though. Do you want to go spinning? All right. Can you not just sit outside with him for 10 minutes? I won't be long. I'm nearly done. Sorry about this, folks. Oh, it's heavy stuff. It is really heavy stuff. But being bank holiday tomorrow, we'll probably just do. I won't be on this channel. Oh, okay. It won't let me access the next one. I need to change my VPN. Hold on. It won't let me access it. How frustrating is that? It says you are not in the United States. Oh my God. I need to change my VPN. It's signed me out. Oh, this is so annoying. I'm going as quick as I can, guys, just to get this swapped over, because the update one is really, really insane and extremely interesting. Right, it's just setting up now. I'm going to put myself in the US. I'm going to put myself in Houston. We're going to go with Houston. Right, let's try and get logged in now. Come on. I'm in Houston. I'm in Houston. Honestly, I'm in Houston. Yeah, it's not letting me do it. Right, secure my connection. Oh. Right. Now, this case gets even weirder, right? If that were possible, this case gets weirder. Why won't they let me watch this outside the United States? Do you not think that's a little bit weird as well? That they wouldn't let me? Right. We've got an update here. Oh, this honestly, this case, when you hear this, gets weirder. So basically, we're going to find out now that the person who did this went on a shooting spree just days before murdering this professor, this scientist. I'm not kidding. So this is an update. Watch.
This shooting happened nearly 2 months after Brown University. After that mass shooting, the killer went to Brookline and executed an
Do you remember Brown University shooting? No, we're in Houston now. Yeah, I was thinking that, Sparkle. Houston, we have a problem. No, because the Chinese have lost them as well. I think that these scientists have been taken on some sort of top secret project, in my opinion, and the ones that said no are being bumped off. That's just what I'm thinking now, because what else said? Anyway, so what we're going to find out here is the guy, and I've got more information on this as well. We're going to watch this video. I've got more information. The scientist was killed in the foyer of his own home. His little girl went to the door and he quickly grabbed the door to stop the little girl from getting, which obviously his little girl wasn't the target. He was a father of 3. He lived in an apartment block, but they had a shared foyer. So he went down, but there was other people living in that block. Now, what's really weird is that the same shooter who did the Brown University shooting before, I think it was like 2 months before, was the same person who did this shooting. It gets weirder and weirder, but let's just have an update on this.
Professor, today we learned his family was home at the time of the murder. Austin 25 News reporter Daniel Coates reveals what else was in those 97 pages of documents. Now,
there's a night the police have released, since this happened in December, the police have released a 97-page document with all of the information. So we're going to hear little bits of it now, and then we're going to read through some of it in a moment.
Details coming to light 2 months after an MIT professor was shot and killed in his own Brookline home. Outlined a normal December 15th night for 47-year-old Nuno Loureiro, his wife, 2 daughters, and mother-in-law inside this Gibbs Street building. According to those documents, Loureiro's daughter said she was sitting in the living room playing cards with her sister when she heard the doorbell ringing.
So they rang their doorbell. I think you're right, Nikki. That's what I'm thinking. MK Ultra'd. So, Bridget Blaine, you know, when you were saying before, I read your comment before about you'd heard a 2 or 3 and you thought it was just a conspiracy theory. Can you now see how it's not? We're not even done yet. We're not done. This is number 8. There's 14 that we know of. This is all since 2022. There was apparently clusters before that as well. But everything that me and Sparkle are showing you is backed up by evidence. Every little thing. I could sit here and just reel off a load of names, but I'm not doing that. I want to go into each case. And it's taking a long time, but we're doing it properly. But it's all real.
She got up to check who it was, which was when her dad followed behind her and told her to come back into the house. That's when police say Claudio Manuel Neves Valente was standing at his doorstep. A former classmate of his from Portugal roughly 30 years ago, also believed to be responsible for gunning.
Did you hear that? This guy, can you hear this audio okay? I don't know if it can go any louder. I don't think it can. This guy that killed him was also from Portugal, because the MIT professor was born in Portugal as well, but many, many years ago. It's not, is it, Bridget? It's just not. It's just not. It's not possible. It is consuming, but it's worth it. Yeah, it is, Sparkle. He knew him from 25 years ago. Not as any adverts. Maybe they've demonetized me. Let's have a look. Because of what we're talking about. No, apparently not. And apparently, we've been going for an hour and a half, and I've only had 60 views on this. They are messing with the channel to the point where they're suppressing all of the views now. It's getting ridiculous. I've noticed this a lot. So there's no, how can we have 60 views when there's 25 watching and the views get redone every minute? It doesn't make any sense, does it? I've had an advert for door cams. Yeah, so he actually rang their doorbell and his little girl went down.
I've had two Brown University students 2 days before on campus. Neighbors, Guerrero's family, including the daughter who answered the door, heard gunshots from the foyer. She ran back outside and saw the male suspect running away. Her dad suffered gunshot wounds to his chest, abdomen, left leg, and right leg. Multiple residents reported hearing loud sounds, but no one witnessed the shooting or the suspect.
They're all scared to say anything, obviously.
Was pronounced dead the next morning. Police found 6 spent shell casings just inside his entrance and obtained surveillance from nearby businesses and neighbors, claiming the suspect was even spotted eating near Comm Ave hours before the shooting. And
he was what? Eating? Hang on.
Spotted eating near Comm Ave hours before the shooting and driving nearby. They say this illustrates that the operator of the newer gray or blue Nissan was gathering information of this neighborhood layout by his repeated...
What? So the security surveillance video from illustrates that this guy who was driving this Nissan was gathering information of the layout of the neighborhood. This man had clearly been given the details to take out the hit. Oh my God, they're actually talking about this on GB News right now. GB News are just catching up. Mysterious deaths of space scientists. Well, that's not necessarily correct because there were others not related to space but are related to military. White House investigates. Yeah, they're actually talking about this, but they're making it, the GB News are making it about like UFOs and space. A lot of it is that, but not all of it. So yeah, he was repeated presence and probable mapping out. This guy has been given this hit, and it was the same guy. And it gets even weirder in a minute, guys. It gets weirder.
Presence and probable mapping of routes, including entry and exit points. The manhunt that followed led police to Salem, New Hampshire 3 days later, where they found the man dead inside a storage unit.
Did you hear that? In the days that followed, they spoke to 3 days later, they found the shooter dead inside a storage unit. They bumped him off as well. This is insane.
The MIT professor's family and colleagues, and they said that there was no threat present and they still have no motive. On scene in Brookline, I'm Daniel Coates for your local station.
So he's dead. He's dead, just like that Lee Harvey Oswald. He died, so they couldn't speak. I don't know if I can get rid of this so I can read this for you. I don't know if it's going to let me. Hold on. Right, I need to get rid of this. Just bear with me, guys. We'll do a refresh. Can we go refresh? It's made a difference. I can't get rid of this. Which is really annoying, but I'm going to read out what I can, okay? I think he was MK Ultra'd. So, hours before the shooting, the surveillance shows the suspect walking along Commonwealth Avenue around 1:20 to 1:40 wearing a dark mask and sunglasses. He sounds like the Invisible Man. He entered multiple businesses, including Fovit, I don't know what that is, where he purchased food using cash. Other footage captured a grey... Let me just see if I zoom this in, if it'll make it any bigger for you. Hopefully it will. We just cut off. Oh, can I get rid of that? No. How annoying is that? Can't get rid of this massive banner thing. Can I get rid of it? No. Oh, for God's sake. Apologies, guys. I'm doing my best. So, drag to resize. Well, I'm trying to. I'm trying to drag. Won't let me. I hate laptops, so I use phones for everything. So he purchased food. Now, other footage captured a grey Nissan Sentra, I don't know what that is, later tied to the suspect, parked on Babcock Street as early as 8 a.m. He remained in the area for hours. Now, this is the CCTV of this guy. I know George wants to go spinning. I know. Daddy, get you ready now. Daddy, get you ready. Oh, we've lost it all now. Oh, brilliant. We've lost the whole thing now. Drag to resize the video. Oh my God. I don't want to resize the video. So bizarre. I hate these websites. They're just so annoying. Like, what the hell? Right, okay. I think we're getting back now to it. I don't want to watch the video again. Sorry about this, guys. So it was linked to a murder. So the guy that did it, he also did a shooting at Brown University just before, which doesn't make any sense. Now, the Portuguese national who did this was called Claudio Manuel Neves Valente, and he killed 2 students in a mass shooting at Brown University. Sorry, it was 2 days before. So he killed 2 students. Oh, awesome, Sparkle. Thank you. I am telling it off. Terry Knowles Band again. Can you just wait for me? I'm nearly done. I thought he'd be all right. 2 days before he killed 2 students. Do you know what I think? That he was supposed to have killed him and he wasn't there. So he went to his home. Now, listen to this. This guy attended the same academic program in Portugal. The same program between 1995 and 2000. What are the chances, and what was the reason? Now, this is even weirder, because we then find out, we're going to get this, I'm going to put the new thing up now, that they find the shooter dead 3 days later in a storage facility. Suspecting Brown University shooting and MIT professor's murder, found dead in a storage facility. Right, I think we've got a video. Yeah, we do. We've got a video. Right, let's watch this.
Multiple witnesses before and after the shooting that ended up talking to police. I want to bring up the first witness, the citizen that was outside, which eventually we found out was the person that they were looking for. As Cale mentioned, that citizen noticed the suspect before the shooting outside of the university and was caught on camera actually running after him and confronted him. And the police saw that encounter on surveillance video, and that's why they were looking for that particular citizen. And they said within an hour, that person came to police and provided really all of the information that they need.
So
the attorney
look
general
at all this, guy.
Said that
now there he is in his mask and his hat. Clearly not the Invisible Man, but I was taking the piss. We've got all the evidence. This has come out after, and then he turns up dead himself, and he knew him. There's got to be more to this. There's got to be more.
Particular witness actually broke the case for them.
In that video, as they were hoping for, once it was released, that's how the series of events escalated very quickly into what we have today.
And we've
got to wonder why they never caught him from the university shooting 2 days earlier as well. Why didn't they catch him?
Major developments before we send it back up to New Hampshire with our reporter Drew Caritas. We now know that there is a relationship between the suspect and the MIT professor, unfortunately, that was killed in Brookline. We were told that the suspect and the professor were in the same program in Portugal in 1995. That was confirmed that the two did know each other prior to the shooting.
Suspect is
so did you read that along the bottom? Read this along the bottom. He was actually enrolled in Brown University, this guy, in 2000 to 2001 and studied physics, this guy.
More now, coming up over the border in Salem, New Hampshire, we've got Drew
So they knew
Caritas,
each other. They
covering that
studied
end
together.
for us. And the tow truck arrived, we understand.
George is waiting. I'm going to have to go, guys.
The tow truck has arrived here for the Nissan Sentra that was rented in Boston by this 48-year-old Portuguese national.
All right, I'm coming now.
A
Go and
lot
get
of
your coat on.
information to digest here.
Dad, put your
Investigators
coat on.
believe he killed himself inside a storage unit that was not
You
being
put his
rented
coat on,
here.
please.
He had rented a unit here. That is not where his body was found. Investigators say 2 guns were found near his body in the storage facility where he was found deceased.
What was that? They found 2 bodies near his body. Hold on.
That was not being rented here. He had rented a unit here. That is not where his body was found. Investigators say 2 guns were found near his body in the storage facility where he was found deceased. At the time, investigators did not know if he was still alive here. They did not know if there was a booby trap or other security issues, which is why they approached the situation with a great deal of caution. Authorities are now revealing that he rented a storage unit at this facility less than 3 miles away from the Rockingham Mall back in November and had been crisscrossing through 3 different New England states over the course of 3 different months. And this is where he came after the murder of the MIT professor who we're now learning he had known from a university program in Portugal. We still do not know the motive in that case, but the U.S. Attorney's Office in Boston believes that professor was the intended target. Still no word on why the students were killed and the students were wounded at Brown University, if they were the intended targets or what was the motive there. We're still waiting to learn all of that information, but a great deal of information was revealed about this suspect's arrival here in the state of Massachusetts and what he had been doing over the course of several months. Claudio Neves Valente, his body was found here. We do not know exactly when he took his own life. A satchel also found here on the property.
We don't know when they took his own life, not if he took his own life. They've already concluded that he took his own life. Who believes that?
Satchel. We also don't know what was inside the vehicle, but as you just mentioned, a tow truck is here to remove that vehicle from the property, a vehicle in which he had been driving for quite a while and switching out plates, as we've been learning. First, the Florida plates that were initially on the vehicle when he rented it, and then a main plate that he had put on at one point, as we've learned, that was not registered. We don't know where he got that plate or at what point he put that on, but we did learn that flock cameras were pivotal in locating the vehicle's whereabouts, and financial records helped lead authorities here to this storage facility on Hampshire Road. We do not know what this suspect was doing here in Salem, New Hampshire, why he chose this specific facility, but it is believed he came here right after the murder of MIT professor Nuno Loureiro in Brookline back on Monday. We're going to be working this scene throughout the course of the night and breaking this all down. A lot of information to process here. For now, that's the latest live here in...
This is insane. This is absolutely insane. So they're saying that he killed himself. We don't have any... How do they know they killed himself? 2 days later, they found him. How do they know about this place, this storage facility? We still don't know. Why did he kill 2 students and injure 9 at the university 2 days before? He's suspected of opening fire on a study session inside a classroom of the School of Engineering, Barriston Holly building around 4 p.m. on the Saturday. 2 were killed, 9 were injured. And then 2 days later, why didn't the police get him in those 2 days? He then goes and kills this professor. None of it makes any sense. And this was just 10 miles away from the shooting. Sorry, the death of Jason Thomas. I've got to run, guys. George is waiting for me. I'll be back on Tuesday with this. I might pop on my other channels tomorrow. I don't know which one. I think what I'm going to do as well, it's going to take me a bit longer, is just really briefly make a video, and I mean really briefly, just cover all the ones we've done so far. For those of you that don't want to sit through all the live streams, I'll get the names in a list and I'll just cover each one briefly of how they died or how they went missing, so that people can just catch up. But I really appreciate you guys that have been with me on all of these live streams, because it is a deep rabbit hole. We'll be back Tuesday with another batch. I don't know how many yet. This isn't the only shooting on people's porches, by the way. There's more. It gets weirder and weirder and weirder. Thank you. Big up Sparkle. Thank you to everyone for being here. Thank you to our members. Big up the members. And for Susabel, thank you for the coffees. Thank you, everybody. Hit the like. And if you want more, please, yes, hit the like, share me out, and yeah, help the channel. Thank you again, everybody. Good night. God bless. And I've got to go because Georgie needs me. Ta-ta. Bye.